Hello, everybody. Ain't nobody there.
WCBG Covington, Cincinnati, and 1320thevoice.com. This is the voice of Cincinnati.
Yeah. Okay, let's get great. Okay, this is Frank. Right.
Seconds. This is kind of long for an opening. For no words.
Yeah, Jeff don't ever let it go this long, ever. But Frank says he's got somebody else working on another opener, so I don't know what that's all about. But yeah,
I'll fade it out when you got it.
Jeff never lets it go that long. He just, I'm done.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
I'm going to fade it out. Bye for now.
Hello! Thank you for tuning in to another episode of OKaye, Let's Be Frank. I'm Frank, and Kaye's not with us today. So no, Frank is out. He's had a family emergency, and he's out of town, so he won't be here today. But you have Kaye, and in the studio is my dear brother, Dion. He's in here with me to have a super cool conversation. First thing I want to do is say thank you to Jesse out at Flip Daddy's in Newport. He's doing an awesome job at being our sponsor, and we just love Jesse. So thank you, Jesse, for doing that. To all of you that tune in and pay attention and watch, I want to say thank you for that too. Your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. You know, and then to our close, good friends, we love and appreciate you so much. So with that said, say hi, Dion, because he's my close, good friend.
Hi, everybody.
So today, I think God has laid it on my heart to talk about what it is for me personally, what surrender looks like for what I'm going through for my life. What does surrendering to God look like? And it's been an amazing process and a struggle, because to surrender means to let go of what you know, what you think you know, what you thought you know. This is my interpretation of what I'm going through. I have to let go of everything that I understood life to be, because he has something different for my life. My old life was part of his plan, because everything is a part of his plan. It's all in his design. We all have to go through our steps. Some of us are called to surrender before others. Some of us have been known that they are supposed to be surrendering from childhood, and some of us has to be like hitting the head with a brick. That would be me.
Yeah,
hitting the head with a brick to know that we're supposed to surrender, and what that means and what that looks like.
When you mean like surrender, do you like think about like before we understood what that even was, before it was even preached, before it was even talked about in our Christian world as we got older? Because as kids, we just do what's necessary for our fun, for our pleasure. And then when someone doesn't give us what we want, then we cry, scream, moan. When we look back now, and you say it's always the process of God, do you remember like where it started for you to really understand that God is calling you to himself?
I can look back and know I got saved, baptized and saved at probably the age of 13. At that point in time, he was calling me to do something different. I believe that now. Did I understand that when I was 13? Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. Had no clue. I just knew that I felt the call to be loved by him.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't know what that meant, just that I was going to be loved by him. I was going to be accepted. And then I went through humanity life. And what that was for me to do the world. Because that was...
Is that part of the process?
Yeah, I think it is. I think in my case, probably in everybody's case, it is part of the process. And I don't mean the world the way you think it, because you're like, no, I didn't do that.
That's not true.
No.
That's not true. That's not true.
But I do
It's
think...
important, though.
I do think that, so we have to go through the things that we have to go through, because if we don't go through them, how are we going to reach somebody else that's going through it?
Yeah.
I get that.
Right.
So I understand, like Romans 8:28, all things good for those who love him. So all of the trash that I went through is all going to be for the benefit of God and what he's got prepared. I get that. But boy, I went through some crap.
Yeah.
And I did some crap that I should not have done, but I should have done at the same time. You see, it's crazy,
it's
because
in itself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's you can't do it, but you had to do it, because if you didn't do it, then you couldn't be who you are today. And who you are today is who he wants you to be today, and to understand that who you are today is who he created you to be. And the stuff, the passion, the love, the humiliation, the shame, all of it works together. It all works together for his good. Period.
When you brought to now, even though you look back and you say all that stuff was just part of the plan, but you have every bit of the feeling and the emotion of going through, because we are people and people live in the now.
Right.
Now that you understand what surrender means, what's the best part of it to you?
The best part has been his love. Totally and truly. His love for me, and him showing me that I am precious. So precious that I can't even put it into words. I have felt my whole life so worthless, so destroyed inside, so broken, so ashamed and confused of who I am. I didn't know. My identity was not there. I had none. I had none. I had no dreams. I had no hopes. I had no expectation. I had robot mode.
What do you mean your identity was gone?
I didn't know. Like, I don't know. Didn't know who I was. Really and truly.
But Jeff is not in.
It feels like it was always to please others, always to do what they said to do, always to make them happy, always to stay. I never was able to rest. I was never able to relax. I don't know what relaxation is. Truly, to this day, I still have a really hard time with relaxing, because I always had to please somebody else. And I was conditioned that way from the beginning. And the reason I say that is because I started getting molested by the time I was 2. And I learned that my worth was what made everybody else happy.
Right. As long as you did what you were told.
As long as I did what I was told to do. And oh my goodness, I was a rebellious person. It's like, whatever. But no, but not in the same token. I thought I was rebelling, but I really wasn't, because I was still doing the things that they were conditioning me to do. They were conditioning me to do what pleases others, not to do what pleases God, not to do what pleases Kaye. The most important is what pleases God. But if I do what pleases God, that's going to do what pleases Kaye. Because that gives Kaye the opportunity to know who God sees.
And that's what you really mean by surrender.
That's what I really mean. Right, absolutely.
That's exactly what that feels like. That's exactly what we grab hold to. Because it's like God is invisible. You know, if he was like alive and could walk down the street, then everybody would know that he's God because of the things that he can do.
Right.
You can touch him, you can feel him, you can hear him. But what do you do when he's invisible? And how do we understand exactly what he wants from us?
Right.
When you look back, all you see is this negativity, like you said. All you see is the experiences that we had and everything that we went through. We either think it's our fault or we blaming others. It's society itself. It's the devil, you know. But okay, fine. What do you do when he's calling you to surrender and you don't know what it feels like? And that's what I'm glad that you're talking about it today.
Yeah, absolutely. Every day is a new surrendering process. Every day I learn something new about me. Every day I learn something new about what he wants. Every day I learn something new about what I feel inside. Every day. I yearn to have his love in my heart. And I know it's there, but like completely strong all the time. Let it stay completely strong, beating.
I wish that was true. I certainly wish that. If you can get there, let me know how to get there. Lord knows. I just, for me, let's just put it that way. For me, it was the exact same thing. It was a yearning for a deeper relationship with him in spite of the things that I was doing. Because it's like you said, it's the experiences that you need. And going through darkness is part of reaching for the light. And a lot of people don't really realize that. Surrendering to God is more than just making a conscious decision to be a Christian. It's more than just those tingly feelings when we get when we worship. You know what I mean? It's like taking life all in one basket. All the nasty, all the dirty, all the negativity, all the programming we went through, or people telling us we were wrong, our own mind thinking that we were wrong. It's taking all that stuff and just dumping it out and say, you know what, Lord, fill my basket again with what you want me to have.
Right, absolutely.
And the excitement and the presence of God in that is deeper. It's like you said, it's if I could be strong in that every day, I could shine to this world and make this whole place rainbows and unicorns.
Oh, you know, I mean, that's what I want. I want so much. We live in such a broken society, such a broken world. And it's kind of saddening. In another way, it is so enlightening because the more broken we get, the closer we get to going back home.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. That's exactly. There's no other choice. The book says, his word says, it's going to come to devastation. What does that look like? Look at the world.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You can't get much more. Well, I mean, maybe you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Maybe you can. And that's a scary thought, too. It's like, just take me home because I don't want to see that.
The word says that even in that day, they would wish to die. And cannot. You know, it's
right.
Gonna be really bad.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really bad.
And when you in your heart, in your body, in your me, in my heart, in my body, in my life, in my soul, when I felt so dark, and this has been just recently, literally, my darkest point was to say, God, I have one of two choices. Literally. Take me out or help me turn it around.
Yeah, God can throw some things in reverse, can't he?
Mm-hmm.
You know how to drive.
And I went to bed. I was standing out in the middle of the yard and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it no more. I cannot be this depressed, this negative, this anxious, this sad, this lonely, this wretched. I was terrible inside. People didn't know. They didn't see it. They couldn't see it. I put on a great face. I've been taught to put on a great face for a long time. I was dead inside. I stood in the middle of my yard and I said, take me now.
You hit a good
or
point.
Fix it.
You hit a good point. When you get tired of being sick and tired, do you think that when everybody gets to that place that he'll show up? Or sometimes do people still need to really get tired of being sick and tired?
No, I think you really have to be 100% genuine with yourself and with him that you're tired of being tired. And I say that because I've said, I'm so okay, I can't do this no more. I just don't want to do this again. Blah, 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 blah. Wash, rinse, repeat. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
But, you know, when I was tired, I'm like, I can't do this no more. I can't. The suicidal thoughts had to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
The wanting to be dead in real life, because that's what my soul felt. They had to meet. You either had to die or you have to die and be resurrected through him. He woke me up the next morning and I said, okay, I'm awake. You woke me up. You didn't take me home. I guess I have to do the latter. I have to get resurrected. Absolutely. And I don't know no other way of explaining it. And this is why I think our show is so important, is because to live this on an everyday human nature way and to explain it to others, because I had no idea. People would talk about sanctification and dying to yourself and surrender and all of this stuff to me a year ago, and I was still like, what does that mean? You're just using words that I don't understand. And here I am using these words that I didn't understand a year ago. I understand what they mean now for me, and it's got to be kind of the same for everybody.
Well,
in an aspect.
It's some points there. I think the one that we touched on was yearning for the love of God and the feelings of being tired of being sick and tired. Those two things that I find, no matter how many times we minister around or when people actually turn it around, they're there. They are there in each and every individual soul. Now, what brings a person to be tired of being sick and tired could be different.
Right.
What people are yearning for God to be to them could be different than me and you.
Right.
But the point is he's Yahweh. He can do and be whatever he needs to be to each and every one of us.
Right.
You know, thank God that he doesn't have a body or live on, Junction Street. I have to knock on her door. I'll be in a line that's like millions long. You know what I mean? Just to get to him.
Absolutely. You would never be able to get to him.
But his spirit is what fills our soul. You know, right. It gives us the sadness that we need in order to have clear sight about what is really my problem.
Right.
And it also gives us the joy to know that no matter what the problem is, he's there.
Right.
And I can overcome this.
Right.
You know, I don't come out of me. That doesn't, because I'm a self-defeatist. And I think most of us are trained that way, being programmed that way from the kid. It's like, if you get hurt when you're playing football, you don't have two choices. You can go home or walk it off. But each and every individual has to make that choice for themselves.
Right.
Because no matter what we do or how we do it, we're going to disappoint somebody.
Yeah.
So my thing is if I'm going to disappoint people and I can't please everybody, then I should just pick one.
Right.
And I pick Jesus.
Right.
You know, because I'm going to mess stuff up anyway.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but when his spirit is there, he can always throw it in reverse.
Right.
He can make the things that happen turn around and be for my good, just like you said.
Right.
And I think that's the important part of surrender, what you said. It's not the path. Really, it's the joy you get from understanding why you had to go through what you went through.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And to understand with this, you get the clarity of what he sees, what he sees in you.
That's true.
You know, not what
beauty,
you see,
right.
not what he sees, not what he sees, not what she sees, not what Joe sees, what Jesus sees inside. That's when you're like, really? You see that?
Yeah.
Oh, who is that? I love that person. I love that person. I have not been able to say that I love me in 44 years.
I remember when I woke up, it was the same way. It was
like, what?
I like me.
Yeah.
You know, I really like me.
Wait, I don't have to change to please that person or that person or that person. He made me me.
Me. Mm-hmm.
What I have to change is what he says. Okay, this piece of you needs to be tweaked this way, or this piece of you needs to be tweaked this way. And it's not even a change as much as just tweak it. Just tweak it. And most of it is mental anyway. Because you wouldn't do the things that you do if you didn't think in your head it was okay to do it or not okay to do it. So in the aspect of no self-respect, no self-love, no self-whatever inside, the tweaking of the mind says you do have love, you do have respect, you do have all of these things. So with that, then that changes the action.
Amen.
That you do.
That's the way it works. That is exactly the way it works. Scriptures say, as a man thinketh, so is he.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with us is that our vessel can only be filled with so much.
Right.
If you're filled with negativity, if you're filled with people telling you're never going to make it, if you feel that people are telling you're worthless and you believe these things, it's filling up.
Right.
You believe it for yourself. You believe it in others. You start looking at the world as in everybody's better than me. I'm never going to get there.
Right.
Or you believe on the opposite side that you're better than everybody else and they're never going to get there. Right. And, you know, you're the one that deserve all these blessings and stuff like that. But the point is God tweaks it.
Right.
If you really allow him and you really open up,
and that's where surrender comes in, because Amen. You have to allow him to do that.
Amen.
You have to choose to allow him to do it. He is not going to do it if you don't say, I surrender all. And every single day, you have to surrender all. What does all look like? Whatever that day is, you wake up and say, okay, I get another day on this earth, this beautiful earth that you created with these beautiful people that you created, because he created each and every one of us, and we have tore your place apart. But some of us have to be the shining light to others. And you can't be that light if you don't surrender all.
And that's why I call you Super Kaye.
I don't know. I still don't know why, but I don't.
It's the attitude. See, you don't. If you walk, like I said, we walk in each other's shoes sometimes. I mean, I'm part of your life now, and what I see is beautiful to me. You know what I'm saying? If Christians learn to look past flesh and past all these different things that we go through, that we react to the moment, but really look at someone's soul, you know, you can see the strength of God. You can see the anointing. You can see everything that's about him, the aspects of God in people. And that's right. I do see that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whether it's beautiful people on this earth, you know, sometimes they just don't know it because they haven't walked it like we walked it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know the value of a smile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't see the twinkle in people's eyes when they're really hurting on the inside. But you're like, you know what? I'll take that because that person doesn't know what they're doing.
Right.
It's that level of forgiveness is almost instantaneous because we live the way we live. We don't know what we're doing. We're trusting God.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, whatever. Yeah. All I know is my heart is bigger than my body, and it grows more every day. He fills it more every day. He makes it bigger every day because of his love for me. And I, in turn, give that love away.
To everyone, yeah.
To everyone that I can make a contact with.
You know, like that
So-
merchant in the street. Come buy joy. Come buy a little bit of love.
It's not
No.
craziness. I'm not to the craziness point of, oh, she's a crazy Bible thumper, whatever, run. No, it's not that.
It's genuine.
It is true. Okay, so here's the thing. The Winter Jam concert was this weekend here in Cincinnati, and I'm going through this big major change, and I don't know if I can or if I want to go by myself. I'm thinking, no, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I'm too scared. I'm fear. Fear is a lie. Fear is a lie. I can't do this. So from Monday until Friday. Monday, yes, I'm going. Tuesday, no, I'm not. Wednesday, yes, I'm going. Thursday, no, I'm not. Friday, okay, we're a day away. You have to make your mind up, right? And I get this thing in my gut that says, go in that office and just say, are any of you going to the Winter Jam concert?
What office?
The apartment complex office.
Oh, okay.
Is anybody going? And I knew I was taking a chance of them going, you're crazy. I'm not going. What? Okay, it don't matter. God's going with me, right? He's going with me to do this. I marched in there like I owned the place, like I owned the world, and said, okay, who's going to Winter Jam? Who is going to see the Newsboys? And can we go together? Because I really, really, really want to go. I'm excited, but I'm a really big chicken and don't want to go by myself. But I will. Maybe. And that was pretty much how it went. So, and I would love to call her name, but I think I'm going to mess it up. So I can't.
Well, what was the big thing about you doing things by yourself?
Oh, because I've never done anything alone. Never done anything by myself. I've never, ever in 44 years been alone. Never. So to do things alone, no, I can't do that.
No.
I don't know how to do that. I don't understand how to do that. That is. Now, don't get me wrong. I can go to the grocery store by myself.
I know it's
But to live life for Kaye and for God and not for everybody else, I don't get it. I'm getting it, but I didn't get it. Okay? So it was a big thing. I didn't want to go by myself. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be scared.
right.
Scared, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he gave me the courage to go in there and ask if she would go with me. And she's like, absolutely, I want to go. Yeah. I'm like, so we get all pumped up. It's only $15 to get in. How can you not go? It's only $15. It's cool, you know, all of this stuff. And we're pumped and we're excited and we're pumping each other up and we're getting all excited. And it's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. I don't know this woman from Adam, but she's going to go with me, and this is exciting, and we're going to have fun together, and oh, God, don't let me blow this. These are the thoughts that I'm going through.
Wow.
Very much excited and very much still scared to death. God, don't let me blow this. Don't let me back out. Let me stay excited. Let me go through this because I don't know how to do this by myself. Thank you for allowing somebody to be there and willing to come with me. And so she said yes, she would go. She wanted to go anyway, but
God's little tweaking seemed to work
God's
out.
little tweaking. See, it's just a little, it's
Right.
just a little tweak. And so she's like, yeah, we'll go. I don't get off work until 4 o'clock. The concert doors opened at 4. The concert didn't start until 6. I don't get off until 4. And then I have to get my husband. We have to get changed, get together, da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
We won't be able to leave till 5-ish. And then we'll get there. Maybe we won't be there too late. Okay, that's cool. We're still going to go, right? So Saturday rolls around, and she ended up working late Friday night. Saturday rolls around, and I go to the office, and I'm like, okay, are we going to go? And she's like, he's still at work, or he just got off, and da-da-da. Kind of like she didn't know for sure if we were
still going
She
on,
was
you know.
so tired. She's like, I'm so tired. I worked late and da da da. And I'm like, okay, but it's just $15, right? How can you miss going to see the Newsboys, Danny Goki, Mandisa, Ren Collective for $15? How do you not go do that? Is kept what I was saying it to her, but I was really saying it to me. It was a conversation, but it was an inward conversation that I was having outward. Mm-hmm. See? And she's like, yeah, we'll go. We're going to go. We'll meet back here at 5 o'clock, right? And she's like, I got to get at my husband, and we get together, and we'll meet together right here at 5 o'clock, and then we'll go together. We'll follow each other because we don't know each other from Adam. We'll follow each other. We'll find a park place. We'll go. Okay, cool. Well, I'm sitting in the parking lot because I'm an over-anxious person, and I'm a very timely fashion. No, I'm above timely fashion. I want to be there 15 to 30 minutes prior.
Right.
That's just personally who I am to what time we have to be there. So I'm sitting in the car.
You don't know how to relax.
Right. I'm sitting in the car going, you know, and I'm texting my friend Dion the whole time too. And I'm going, oh my goodness. 5 o'clock rolls around. I don't see her anywhere. Okay. Panic mode.
Right.
Panic mode hits. Oh,
I'm going in here by myself.
I gotta go alone. What is the appropriate? This is thought process for real. What is the appropriate amount of time to wait to see if she's going to show up? So that way I'm not leaving. So that I'm not leaving. I'm not rushing the process. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm not leaving behind somebody that's potentially to become a very good friend. You know, I'm not over jumping. What is the appropriate amount of time? I'm sitting there looking at my watch, right? Literally. And 15 minutes. It's 5:15. And I'm like, what do I do? Okay, well, I start my car and I get ready to drive out. And I see her in the office. Oh, back up, pull over, park the car. She's still here. Right. So she ain't standing me up.
Right.
You know.
So how was the concert?
Oh, it was amazing. The best thing ever in the world. And I went with two people that I didn't know from Adam. And I am completely going to build a relationship with them. Absolutely, totally, 100% beautiful. They were a beautiful young couple. Beautiful young couple. And it was amazing. I was able to unleash and worship the way I wanted to unleash and worship. I was dancing, I was clapping, I was singing at the top of my lungs. I almost stopped myself a couple of times just to make sure I had voice for today. Because
you went all out.
I did.
So that's what you mean by surrender.
It was wonderful though. I didn't have anybody else looking at me. And even if they were, I didn't care. You know, we hold ourselves back because of what we think the person in the chair beside us is thinking. Who cares? Because they're holding themselves back because of what they think the person in their chair beside them is thinking. Who cares? The great thing is all 10,000 people, hands in the air, dancing, singing, praising, whatever, and maybe 100 of them that wasn't. Who cares? Nobody was worried about what the other person was thinking. We were worried about enjoying the moment we were in. And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced.
Wow. Ever.
To be free and to surrender what other people thought. Who cares? I am enjoying the music. I am enjoying the worship. I'm enjoying the word fully with every ounce of me, you know. And it was exciting. It was great. It was the best 4 hours I have spent, and I can't even tell you how long. For real. And then after the concert, I got to meet the Newsboys. I got to shake their hand. I got their autograph. I got their new CD. All of that.
How'd you get the CD?
Well, they gave it to me. But there's another reason for all of that. And that's a whole different situation. But I got to meet them. I got to shake their hand. And it was so funny, too, because as we're going through the line and we get to the table where they sit, where they look at you face to face, they shake your hand, they acknowledge who you are. You know, Michael Tate is the lead singer for Newsboys. Okay. And he's the first at the table. And he's signing my thing. It was him, and then there was somebody else, and then there was the drummer. And they're pushing us through pretty fast because there was a lot of us.
Yeah, I bet.
And so he's signing it, and we're trying to get a selfie, all this stuff, all in this fast process of 30 seconds, right? But it was an awesome 30 seconds. I get pushed down to the second person, and I didn't get to shake Michael Tate's hand. And I was like, oh, no. I mean, it was so great to meet you. I'm so glad to be here. Shook his hand, looked him straight in the face, eye to eye. That second person, I could not tell you who he was to save my life. Him and then the drummer. I was straight. I shook the middle person's hand, but I don't know who he was at all. Like, I can't see his face. I could not tell you who was sitting there. Went to the drummer, and he did such a phenomenal. They did a drum off, and it was so amazing. I love drums. So immediately to him, shook his hand, face to face, eye to eye. That was amazing. I loved it. On, and then out the door. Like, but it was just incredible. And then we get to go out, right? And I'm making fun of, well, I think we were both kind of making fun of how they were pushing us through and how it was so fast and all of this stuff. And they were going around while we were in line to go and get.
You talking about the couple?
Yeah, me and the couple. The people that was working the concert was going down the line trying to sell autographed pictures. Right? I'm like, I'm fixing to get it. No, I'm not spending another $5 for an autographed picture. You've lost your mind. You know, no. You done got enough money on me tonight. You done got all you're going to get. You literally took every last penny out of my pocket. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, they did an offering, and I put money in the offering. Right. You know, literally, though, every last penny I had went. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to give them another $5 for an autographed picture. I'm fixing to get an autograph right here. You know what I mean? So, but we're making fun of. I'm making fun and joking about that, but in a great spirit, like, you know, not in bad, negative spirit. And then when we get out of the concert and we get out and we're going around, we're like, I was like, did you see I almost missed shaking his hand? Oh, no. I'm going to shake your hand. I can't pass up that. You know what I mean?
That's wonderful. But
to be able to release in front of two people I don't know, to release that joy, that excitement, that enthusiasm, that cutting up, that was amazing.
You love the new Kaye.
I love her. I do love her. And there's pieces of her that have been there and I have buried. I have drowned. I have hidden. I didn't know. There's parts of her that I absolutely did not know. And I'm liking who she is.
I'm liking
it. So it's crazy. It's crazy, though, because I'm going through an entire dramatic life change. And it's all wonderful.
Exciting.
Scary.
It's like the love boat.
Crazy. And you know, every day I don't know. I don't know. What does it mean? So
trusting God.
I talk to friends, people that have walked this walk already, have been in this spot already, you know, have gone through some of these things. And then even some of us are going through steps together, because I don't think, and I know Frank has said, he has told me, and I know and I understand this, we're never going to reach that point of, oh, we're finally there, because we're not ever going to finally be there until we go to heaven, right?
I still think I mean, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but I've heard people say that and a lot of things, but really, what's the use of eternity if you can't continue to learn? It doesn't make any sense.
Probably.
You know?
Yeah.
So when people think of perfection, they're like, oh, I'm finally there or something like that. I'm like, I never want to be there. I never want to be there. I want to see every facet of God in every way. And if it takes eternity to do that, hey, sign me up.
Right.
You know, because
right.
the joy gets deeper. It gets higher. It gets wider. You know, Scripture said that, to know the love of Christ, which, you know, the depth, the height, the width, you know, and I think that's what this is about. If we known this back when we were kids, you know, it would have been different. Like, I wouldn't say so much that, Dion, you're doing this wrong. Or everybody will take, like, wait a minute, man, I'm on a journey, man. Sometimes it's going to be some rough road. Sometimes it's going to be some smooth pavement. You know, I'm a driver.
Not a sprint.
Right. You know, so sometimes you got to slow down to 55. Sometimes you can do 70. But I love 70. I try to take 55 with a grain of salt.
Right.
But my biggest problem is allowing other people to go 55 around me.
Yeah.
And when you're on a road like that, sometimes it's kind of really rough, but we're like that in life. So I think I need friendships and things like that, like you learn, or people have walked this walk that I learned from. Is like, Dion, you know, some people need to go 55 for a minute. And I'm like, come on, man. Come on. You know, but it's
well, and right, I agree with you 100% with that. There's times that I feel like, okay, you have to slow down. You have to slow down, because if you don't slow down, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna whip right past it, and then what? I mean, I guess he'll find a way down the road to put that stop sign back in front of you. But then when you do that, then you're back to thinking, what did I do? Why did I do that? How did I do that wrong? And When if you just slow down.
I had to learn that too.
You don't have to.
I had to learn that too. It's hard to make a turn at 70.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah. Friend of my sister-in-law's in Texas. When I went down to Texas for Sarah's wedding, we were driving around, and this is like a pretty great metaphor for my life, really and truly. U-turns. We were U-turning everywhere, all over the place, because Kaye didn't know where she was going. I had my GPS, but I'm talking, right? We got a car full of people. We're in Texas. We can drive 85 miles an hour. And I'm talking, we're chatting. We're not paying attention. Google Maps is going, turn here, turn here, turn here. And I'm going, oh.
Back around.
25 million U-turns later. You know what I mean?
Finally get there.
Right. We finally get there. It was great fun. Okay, so that's what life is about. 25 million U-turns later. And some of it's not so fun. Some of it is great fun. And some of it is learning. But what if you just slowed down and you didn't have to take those U-turns?
I mean, it's relative, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
Because it's part of the process. That's back to that infinity thing. How do you know when something is bad choice or whether God needs to take you this way?
Right.
You just never know. That's why I don't torture myself with that thinking. I stay in the now. You know, like whatever you want today, Lord.
Okay.
You know, like we wake up. You have a concert yesterday and wake up to problems today. It's like, come on.
Right.
You know, it's like, I got to go through this and frustrate this and frustrate that. But yesterday was bomb.
Yeah.
It's like, way to go, Lord. You know, whether it's good or it's bad, it's all Jesus.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. I agree with that. I can see and know. I can see and know for a fact and know it wholeheartedly that He has been with me and walked me through every single step of my life. Every one of them. Every day, every second, every minute, every wrong turn, every good turn, every everything that I think is not right. He's been there.
Yeah.
Absolutely been there. And he knew when I was going to come to this point, and he knows what I'm going to do to mess it up or to make it right from now until he takes me home.
So,
or even then.
I love
Did I understand that
Nah.
6 months ago? God, no. I knew he was there, but did I understand
Right.
the whole process? Absolutely not. Mm-mm. And then it just makes you want to, when you get it and you understand it, and you think you understand it anyway.
Oh, it gets deep. Yeah, you're right.
Because it gets heavy.
Yeah, it gets deep, but it's still the same principle.
Just makes you want to do more.
Yeah,
it makes you want to surrender more. Okay, there's something about me that I know is still not completely. And every day, there's got to be something.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, you're super gay. Come on, man. You can leap tall buildings.
I can leap tall buildings. And you know what? I think he gave me a dream one night that he was trying to show me how we can grasp the power that he puts within us.
That's right.
And it's to really, really, really believe wholeheartedly that it's there. Yeah. And it can happen. He can do it. Just like that. You have to believe that. And you can do it. And he showed that to me, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah. I'm not there yet. Yeah. I've surrendered, but I'm not there yet.
To call those things that be not as though they were, kind of thing. And,
exactly.
And when that stuff pops in your head, like, you can do that? You're like, no way! You just back off so quickly.
Yeah,
like,
it's scary.
Man, it's so scary sometimes. It's like, you can just tell this mountain be removed and cast into the deep part. Like, yeah, right. But when you see it for real, yeah, you can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. Mm-hmm. Our life, we're not supposed to use it for us. And that's why I think Christians mess it up at. Mm-hmm. We think that if we can use that kind of power, then, well, Jesus would have got down off the cross. No, you don't use it for you.
Right.
You use it for someone else.
Right.
Because that kind of power works by faith, and faith works by love.
Right.
I can do everything for you, but I ain't going to be able to do that for me.
Right.
The physician is the worst case scenario for the patient. You just know why that is. It just is what it is. A healer is going to have a hard time healing himself.
Right.
So we can pick other people up, and we can share that kind of love, but we also need that to give back to us. Somebody's got to do that for me too.
Right.
In order for all of us to stick together.
In Mandisa's song, We All Believe the Same. It says we're meant to do more than just carry each other.
Oh, yeah.
And, for a minute, you're like, what does that mean? Let's think about what she's saying when she says we're meant for more than carrying each other. Because we're not meant to carry each other. We're meant to lift each other up and show others how to get beyond being carried by each other.
Yeah.
Let them learn with your love how to do that. So, but yeah, absolutely, we're meant for more than carrying each other.
Right.
It's so incredibly crazy, deep, emotional, soul-searching surrender to figure that out.
You could have saw your face right there. And we were like, ah. You know how they say it's like pregnancy. You're giving birth to a new cat.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, she's crazy too.
Oh, she's all right.
She's crazy fun. She's fun.
I love it though.
She is fun though. And I'm like, do people see me as that way? Because I didn't never. Did they see me as that way? Did they see me as unapproachable? Did they see me as stiff? Did they see me
I go through that a lot.
Hard?
Yeah.
Do they see the real person? And see, this is where I say I know she was in there, but I didn't know because for so long, the happy funness, I just want to be happy. I just want it to be fun. I know there's bad things going to happen. We're going to go through stuff. We're going to be whatever. But we can be happy, joyful.
Joyful.
Joyful. That's the word I'm looking for. to find your joy again, that was lost. My joy was lost. And I've been begging for joy for 7 years.
Wow.
Lord, show me how to have joy.
I think people see it.
People seen a confidence in me that was fake. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It was because I could only depend on me. And maybe it wasn't fake. Maybe it was something that I did unconsciously, right? Maybe it was a confidence that was in me that I was just, because I've had people say, you are not you're not intimidated. You know, you have a great self-confidence. Oh, no, not this girl. No, she don't. No, she don't. You may see something, but she really didn't have it in her at all.
Maybe we don't know each other like ourselves,
right?
Like we think we do,
right?
Because we judge ourselves just like other people judge us. Sometimes you just don't know really all the things that's really in you.
The whole thing to say we are our own worst critic is true.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true. And people that see you and see things in you that you can't see, which is why, for me, talking out loud and saying things out loud to me is the biggest thing in the world. I walk through process. I walk through things. I talk them out. And when I talk them out and I say it and I hear it in my own words into my own ears, that's when the revelation goes, huh? You know, what? But with that, like I have said things to you, like, Dion, keep your standard. Don't lower your standard. You have a standard. Keep that standard. I could say that to you all day long and not internalize that to me.
Right.
But then there are other things that I believe wholeheartedly that now when I say it, I'm like, I'm not just saying that to him. I'm saying that to me too. It's not just for him. Because when I say that to you, that is really what I feel. That's what I believe inside. The other stuff that I'm saying to myself are lies that I don't believe inside. The stuff that I say to you in a spiritual, raise you up kind of thing, I really need to be internalizing as well, because I believe them. I believe that to be true for you. If I believe that to be true for you, Dion, keep your standard. Don't ever drop it. Stay up here where you belong. Be the light. Don't let somebody bring you down. All of these things, when I say that to you, I mean that wholeheartedly, that that's who you need to be. That's what you need to do. That's where you need to belong. Well, guess what? That's where Kaye needs to be. That's where Kaye needs to belong. That's what Kaye needs to do. Kaye needs to quit lowering her standard to fit what she thinks she needs to fit in.
Right.
No.
So how does that work in knowing that that's the process? How does that work in with surrendering to God? Do you just shut the noise out and just tell God how you feel? Do you talk it out to him?
Oh, yeah. So, I talk to him just like I'm talking to you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Your prayer life.
My prayer life is, see, I get the words prayer and the way people, we're going to take people off the table. The way I interpret the way people say prayer, see prayer, look at prayer, think of prayer, the way we do prayer in church, the way we do all that stuff, that's not Kaye's prayer life. Do we have those moments? Do I have those moments? Yes, I do have those moments. Thank you for my food. Thank you for my day. Thank you for this. Lord, I'm bringing this to you, da, 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 da. But with that, I have an internal conversation with him all the time. All the time. Just like I'm having one with you. I'd be laying in my bed going, do you know what? This is crazy. Da, 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 da. Whatever. Last night, I laid there. I was so exhausted by the time, because I only had like 4 hours sleep yesterday and whatever, and it was like late when I got home. Not late, but it was late. And there was so much that got dumped on me yesterday that I was like, oh, I'm so tired. And I just lay there and I'm just rambling. I'm going, Lord, oh, blah, 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 whatever, you know. And then I'm like, okay, amen. And then I just started again. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da. And I'm like, you know that when I'm tired, I'm a rambler. Just let me go to sleep. Can you just put me to sleep, you know? Okay, I'm shut up now. Oh, but here we go again. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I think it happened like 4 times before I finally was like settled down and could go to sleep. But that is my conversation with him every day.
Married life.
Married
life.
You know what? And I never got it, but I get it. He's showing it to me.
That's beautiful.
It's like being in a honeymoon.
Yeah.
That's on the biggest honeymoon ever.
I think I was like 18 or 19 when I first started ministry and stuff like that. And I really realized that of what he was calling me for and things like that. But it wasn't the job. It was the intimacy that I love so much. You know, I would go do what he wanted so I can come back and be with him. And I messed around and said something because somebody asked something, and, you know, I ramble too when I hear something, a keyword or whatever, and I just go up into it. And I messed around and told him something that was like what me and him do. And I actually felt guilty that I was sharing something that with me and Lord. You know, and I was like, Lord, I really am married to you, for real. You know, it's like, it was crazy. But you get that feeling.
Oh, yeah.
You really do get that feeling.
And
like,
see, that's where we're talking about marriage. We were talking about marriage while I go in the car. That's where I'm getting my statement of marriage.
Right.
It's exactly where I'm getting what I was trying to get across to you in the car. Is that has to come first. That is paramount.
Yeah.
It has to be first. If that's not first, then everything else is messed up.
Yep.
Messed up.
The foundation has to be on him first.
It has to be. You have to know him. You have to love him. You have to be in love with him.
Yeah.
Because he's already deeply in love with you. That's why you're here. He wouldn't have put you here if he wasn't in love with you already. You have to allow to be deeply in love with him.
And that's what we talk about, the surrender part. It's more than just doing what the Lord says do. It's more than just going to church or paying the offering. Surrender is something from the inside of letting go all who you are to him.
Right.
And accepting all he is to you. It's marriage.
And as our conversation, our text conversation that we had Friday, was you like, you're like, it went from I was a servant to I'm his child. That was a big revelation for you. And I get that because I wasn't the servant. I was the not even worthy to be within 1,000,000 yards from you to his child in an instant. Oh, what? Even though I got baptized, I got saved, he's been with me my whole life. The moment of I am your child has just recently come.
Hallelujah.
And wow.
Wow.
It is the best feeling ever.
Right.
And there is no human that will ever fill that spot.
That's why I used to see it so much that people say, God, 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 God. But it's like, it never fit me. You know, it just, I realize that he's a creator. But when you know him as Father, you know, it's different.
It is.
It's different.
It is. And a lot of people say Father. They say he's the dad, whatever. That didn't resonate with me at all until my dad passed away.
He's Abba.
And now he's my Abba. He is. So, once again, this is another episode of Okay, Let's Be Frank. We want to say thank you again to Flip Daddies and Jesse. And tune in Wednesday to see what we got talking about then. Thank you. Well, that hour went faster than I expected.
He was in there.
See, and now this is not going to go off. Hi, I'm having a problem with my computer. There it finally. Now.